of our. Oh, yeah. Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of the Lay Frame Podcast. I am your host, Holy Moses, and all the way from the UK, Mr. Peter Blackhurst. Thank you for being on the show, man.
What's going on, buddy? Okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly, man. Awesome.
Lovely.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thanks for Gina. Word up, big and up in the UK.
No worries, man.
All right. Hell yeah. Jason Bacon. Thursday. It's Thursday. Yes, Jason, it is, but this is a special edition because we have Peter Blackhurst in from the UK. Right now it's like, what, 9 p.m. time?
Say again, dude.
Is it 9 p.m. your time right now?
9 p.m. UK time, yeah.
Okay. So, let me get this microphone a little bit closer. So, everybody, thank you for joining in. And today, early in the afternoon, 9 p.m. their time, Peter, tell us a little bit about what got you into lowriding and what got you into actually having your own company and servicing people's lowriders.
So I started about 22 years, something like that ago, when I first started driving. Just seeing like my neighbours were into cars, people around me were into cars, and as soon as I started driving, I went to some car shows.
I don't know, Jason. Jason Blackhurst says Blackhurst. Is he related to the guy from the Project Blinky?
I've never heard of him. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I can see people commenting.
Pete's a legend. Keep us
rocking. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Gray's he's like an OG. He's been around pretty much as long as I have. He's got a 75 Caprice convertible. But yeah, I started going to car shows when I first started driving, and I was at an event, and there was some members of a car club called Lord's Lowrider Car Club at this show, and they were like cruising around on three wheels in classic British cars. And I just, you see it and you're like, I've just got to do that. That's me. And then I had an apprenticeship at a company working on the railway, and they just sat me down in front of a computer and just said, just keep yourself busy. So I just was like going on lowrider forums, Lay It Low, which is like the big worldwide forum, and there was like a Unity Car Club forum. And I think there was a forum called Euro Low as well. And it was just before the days of Facebook and social media. You had to dig around in the internet to try and find information on what you were looking for. And I made contact with a few of the guys out there, Unity Lowrider Car Club and Lord's Lowrider Car Club, which were the two big clubs in the UK at the time. And I just started to go to shows with those guys. And then I bought an Oldsmobile Cutlass from, I think it was a car that was shipped over. It was on an airbase in the east of England. And a friend of mine, a guy off the internet of one of the forums, a guy called Stevie D, he helped me build my first lowrider. And then I sort of learned from there, and it kind of just develops. You know how it is. When you're passionate about something, you just...
Okay, so here's a question.
Yeah.
How are the laws out there with, because in Australia, we hear stories that, they have to have engineers to look at their vehicles. Before they can... So how are the laws out there with hydraulics?
So
I know your bag is very different.
Yeah, it's similar to Australia. every 12 months, we have to have what's called an MOT. I think it's a motor ordnance test, where you take your car to, it's normally like a garage, and they inspect your car to make it safe, to make sure it's safe to go on the road. The car doesn't get driven; it just goes up on a four-post ramp, and they check for rust, they check for oil leaks, they test the brakes.
So
they
how
test
does
the
that
headlights.
work with the lowrider? How does that work with the lowrider and a custom car out there?
Well, with the hydraulics, with the lowrider in general, they don't really test the suspension. If you think that the car's on the ramps, they don't test the suspension to make sure that the suspension's actually working to start with. And then from a visual check, you could argue that the hydraulic cylinder is your replacement shock absorber. So
Oh, okay.
if you see what
So
I mean,
there's always a loophole. There's always a loophole of some sort.
yeah, they look at the car and they can't see anything that would be an MOT failure. It's not that big a modification from standard, if you see what I mean.
Okay.
Obviously, if you start going down the route of reinforced frame and chain bridges and extended upper A arms, and then it could be called into question. But again, most MOT testers wouldn't see like a classic American car, which they probably aren't familiar with, and think, wait a minute, this isn't the standard suspension. They would just assume that that's the standard suspension, and there would be no issues with legality. And then there's a weird rule in the UK: if your car's more than 40 years old, it doesn't have to have a test. You can just, even though it's over 40 years old, so it could be. Can we swear on this podcast, by the way?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So it could be. It could be. It could be a piece of shit. It could be a total basket case. But because it's over 40 years old, it doesn't have to be tested, which is crazy. Yeah. So if you've got like a
loophole, that's a good loophole for like anybody who has a classic. You just wait 40 years.
It rolls. It's currently rolling as well. So if you've got a 1985, that's now 40 years old. So I think in 1984 is currently MOT, also so test exempt, and you don't have to pay. We have like a road tax as well, so you have to pay to use the car on the road. But anything that's over 40 years old, you don't have to pay any road tax either. So it's ideally pre 85. It's if you can find a pre 85 like an 84 Regal or obviously 60.
So you're just sitting there, that's what you want. That's nice. Yeah. That's nice if you can do that, but at the same time, that's gotta suck because you gotta, like, the loophole is good, but I know once in a while you're gonna get that one cop, that one police officer that's gonna be an asshole and be like, yeah, I don't know if you can drive this shitbox on the road,
Well, the police over here, they tend to go for, like, I suppose you call them like tuners or ricers, or those guys that are driving fast, loud exhausts. Whereas you see in the UK, you think a classic American car, the police will regard that as something that's been well looked after. It's probably some old boy that's driving it. He's not going to drive like he's going to be sensible because he's got a classic American car, and they tend to leave you alone. But if you get caught three-wheeling or hopping, it might be a different story. I think I've been stopped once for three-wheeling, and they tried to take the car off me. So what they can do is, so out on the road, if they suspect that your vehicle isn't safe for the road, they can call out. I think it's called like a Vosa van or something like that. So it's basically a roadside MOT. They'll come and inspect your vehicle at the roadside, and if it's deemed unsafe, they will impound the car.
So it's like the way Australia puts it, the canaries, the stickers or whatever that they slap on the back of the car.
Okay.
You can't drive it. Damn, dude, that's gotta suck ass.
Yeah,
somebody might look at it while you're out with some friends or something, and
they can take it off you. Yeah, definitely. If they deem it unsafe for the road, they can like impound it and take it off. And the closest I've been to that was three-wheeling. I was at an event and I was in a Mercedes 190E that had hydraulics. I was three-wheeling round a roundabout, I was freewheeling round a roundabout with the guy with I think that was a Buick Regal, and there was an unmarked police car, and he pulled us over and put us in the back of his police car, and got like a massive rule book out and started going through all these rules, but couldn't find any rules. I think we got charged with dangerous driving, which isn't like a ban or anything. It's just like a warning. And then they sat us in the car and said, we've called the Vosa van to come and inspect your cars. But luckily, the Vosa van was already inspecting some other cars somewhere else, so we got away with it.
Oh, shit. Damn, dude, that's got to fucking be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, in Germany, if you can get, I know a few guys in Germany who probably come on this podcast, but in Germany, that's completely illegal. You cannot drive a lowrider. You can't drive it on the road.
Yeah, I've seen a couple videos where guys are having hidden compartments for their hydraulic setups, where like they'll open the trunk, like the cop will ask them to open the trunk of a lowrider at a show, and it's just a plain empty trunk, and then they show the dude walk off, and then he'll slide open a compartment, and there are the hydraulic pumps. There's everything right there. It's like,
yeah, Germany sounds bad. They've got a really good community in Germany as well. They've got hoppers and stuff out there, but they just don't use them on the road. They get trailered everywhere, which is a shame. And what I'd like to do is one thing I'm trying to do in the UK is get events in the UK and say, look, trailer your car to the UK and then drive it here. Like you can drive on German plates in the UK. That's fine if you're visiting. So like, come to the UK and come and drive on our roads, boys.
yeah, come cruise. There you go. If you ain't got nowhere to cruise in Germany, guys, if we have guys that are listening in Germany, because I know we got guys listening in Switzerland and Brazil and Mexico and many different areas. And here in the States, in Arizona, you can drive a shitbox. You can drive a cloud house. I like
crazy.
Yeah, like
I watch Vice Grip Garage on YouTube.
See that?
Yeah. You can drive that.
Yeah, like you can literally drive that and then be okay, and they're not going to say nothing. But if you drive, hold on.
Oh man, you've gone.
We're back. Too many retarded. Yeah. So, but like I said earlier, like it's odd that you can drive stuff that's completely garbage, or like what you would deem unsafe as a project vehicle, because that thing's gutted out. It's got metal door pads. I'll drive it like that. Like, will anybody drive anything like that? Yeah, but technically, it's safe.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's safe. It's fully DOT approved.
Man. I watch Vice Grip Garage. That guy, I forget his name. He's on YouTube, but he like will travel like 800 miles in something that he's just found in a field and get it running and just drive it. It's been in a field for 15 years, and he'll drive at 800 miles across states to get it home. And like you just couldn't do that here. You just couldn't do it.
No. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't realize that here. It's like it's way different. But where you're at, man. This is what I want to ask you. Your company, you say that you service them. So like if somebody can take their lowrider, come on, go, oh man, I need to go get my pumps looked at, and they can go to your shop and get an oil change and get everything like a regular maintenance of a vehicle.
Yeah, so there's probably been a lowrider community in the UK for way before I started getting into it. There's cars in the UK that have been around for getting on 34 years now, and there's never really been a place where you can get hydraulics maintained, service. There's been a few. There's been shops in the past. There was a company called Max Hydraulics, which is probably like I look up to Max Hydraulics. That place was the place to go. They were installing. They were the only place that were installing like Black Magic hydraulics. They were installing CCE, Showtime, Pro Hopper. All the other UK shops where you could get hydraulic suspension used pretty agricultural, like forklift truck tipper pumps or like stuff that you find on HGVs.
Whereas, like tractor style stuff.
Whereas Max Hydraulics were importing kits from America and installing them. And the guy who ran it, a guy called Ian Sheriff, was doing like real high-end, high-quality installs. And that's why I looked up to him and was like, I'd like to get to that level. But I never really wanted to do this sort of work. I've always tried to get other people, friends of mine who could set up a shop and start doing that work and offering service and maintenance to get these lowriders that are sat in garages that don't work. But we have a problem in the UK. You might have the same issue there where somebody will set up a shop and
somebody else does some work. Yeah,
they'll take a lot of money and then they just don't do the work, or they haven't got the facility, they haven't got the parts, they haven't got the materials. They realise that it's not like I don't make a lot of money. There isn't a lot of money in it because it's such a finite resource, the lowrider community in the UK, that I know everybody every lowrider in the UK. I know it. Like if a car appears out of nowhere that nobody's heard of before, it's a shock. Everybody knows that the community is so small. We all know each other. We know all the cars that are in the UK. If somebody imports one, we all speak to each other. We've got like
so
group
it's hard to hide something. So it's hard to hide a project here and there.
Yeah. If somebody posts up saying they've got a lowrider and nobody knows about it, everyone's shocked. It's like, where did that come from? Like a few months ago, a guy posted up that he had a 2-door Caprice that he imported. I think he said 10 years ago, and it's just sat in a garage. He's got like maintenance issues, and I'm trying to convince him to send it up to me to rebuild it and get it working for him. But the fact that nobody knew he's imported that car, and then nobody knows about it. Like the UK lowrider community is probably about 100 cars in total, of which only about 30 or 40 are active at any one time. So all the other cars are sat in garages, sat in workshops, sat on driveways. So it is a small community, and yeah, but my intention with Lay and Play wasn't to build a shop to start working on cars. It was supposed to be like almost like with you, like a media business. Our intention was, I set it with a guy called James Kelly, one of my closest friends, and we would go out and we would film events. So if you look at our YouTube channel, if you look at the first videos that we posted, it was just us going to shows and filming it. James is like a high-end media guy. He's the quality of his work's incredible, and that the intention was always just to film everything and put that out there. We've got a DVD. There was a DVD out. There was like calendars and stuff. We were never building cars for customers. We were never. It was more of an outlet to try and promote the UK lowrider community. But as that grew, I realised that I needed to find a source of income. I had a job at the time that I didn't like, and this working on lowriders was just an opportunity to do lowriding full time. So Lay and Play does everything. It's not just t-shirts and hats. We'll build lowriders, we'll service, maintain, upgrade. We provide cars for events, for weddings, anything lowrider related in the UK.
So if a high school kid goes, "Hey man, I'm going to prom."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I want to pick up this girl in a cool car, and be like, "Yeah, we got you. We'll rent you this out for months.
Yeah, we do. We do everything. There's weird legalities with hire, because when you hire a car out, it's supposed to be like a private hire, so it's actually illegal to take anybody to prom. So you have to tiptoe around those rules. There is some loopholes with weddings. I think with a wedding, legally you can pick up the bride and the father of the bride from one location.
Like in the parking lot, right? Like
someone
in the parking lot, and
you can actually drive from one location. You can pick them up from their house and then take them to the church, but that's it.
Oh wow!
I've actually got a wedding. I'm doing a wedding at the end of March in my Lincoln, and it's people when the options are like Bentleys and sports cars, and they do these proms and weddings in these high-end sports cars, and you pay top dollar to turn up in a Bentley, and then like it's not much. It can be cheaper to hire a lowrider and turn up at your prom or at your wedding on 3 wheels, hopping and stuff. Like It always goes down well, and the guys in the community will do proms and weddings, although nobody advertises. It's all off the radar.
It's all word of mouth, like
Yeah,
word
yeah,
of
yeah,
mouth,
yeah.
yeah. So like you
But
gotta
like,
know somebody, pretty much.
yeah, some of the guys just recently did the Team Red Bull Formula One team promotion video. So if you go online and search I think it's the new Formula One racing season. It's the launch for the Red Bull Ferrari car, and three of the UK lowrider guys that they appear in the video. They were hired to be in the video with their cars.
That's cool.
And then last year, there's a guy called Pat Banks who runs a company called Limit Fabrications. He's like the go-to guy for early Impalas. He's built some of the best UK lowriders that are out there. His work is incredible, and he was hired to take his car to an event in London where Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre released their drink Gin and Juice. It was like the UK launch day. And Pat took me down there, and it was the first time that Dre and Snoop performed in the UK for like 30 years. And these are the opportunities that you get if you've got a lowrider. You get these opportunities like music videos, like YouTube videos, promoters.
So pretty much, many people get to see the car and see it worldwide. What you guys are doing out there. You know what I mean?
Well, that has been my goal even before Lay and Play. My goal has always been to try and put the UK lowrider community on the map. When you look at like La Cultura magazines and you speak to people in the USA and around the world, like the recognized countries are obviously the USA, Japan, which is probably the second biggest lowrider community in the world. Yeah, and then Australia, and then New Zealand pops up, which is like, it's crazy. New Zealand's about the same size as the UK. How have they got so many lowriders? How have they got such a big community?
They got lowriders and mini trucks.
Yeah.
There's people out there, there's somebody that tuned in from out there, and then even, I think it was like Turkey. We had somebody from Turkey who tuned in one time, and we were like, oh, I wonder how it is. And like, oh yeah, we got mini trucks and stuff out there. I'm like, that's badass. Gene had said, Pete, juice my rag. Oh, there we go. See? So it's like, it's cool that you guys have that tight-knit community.
Mm.
Man, dude, that's cool that with having that people get to see that see the cars, see the culture, and you guys make the content and the media side of it, and then having to kind of just stroll on into the building aspect of it. Was more just, did it feel more like an easy transition, or was it harder?
Say again, sorry.
Was it more for like an easy transition, or was it a lot harder?
The building side of it, I mean, I like to be hands-on. I like to work on my own cars, but it was never really my intention to do builds for people. I was hoping that other people in the community could do it, but I don't want to name any names, but there's been through the years anybody who comes to lowriding and starts trying to build cars, for some reason they always take money off people and then just don't do the work. And it's happened so many, like Gray, that guy who's commenting, his car was taken in by a guy for work, and the guy just sat on it for 12 months and never did the work, took the money, never did the work. It's just crazy how it like, and as a result of that, because I always try and help these guys setting up businesses. I'm like, right, I'll get you back, I'll promote you. If somebody comes along who wants a car building, I'll say, you're the guy, send them to you. And then I always feel terrible because I've recommended these guys and they fuck people over. So I end up working on people's cars mostly for free or for not a lot of money, because out of guilt more than anything. And then as a result of that, you learn and you get better. And like, I built a car, I think there's a guy watching now called Luke. I built a Lincoln Mark V, like a Lincoln Continental Mark V. Built it for him.
Was that the one that you sent me in one of the pictures?
Yeah, maybe a Malibu Peach is called. he started building that. I supplied a kit for him, and then he sent it to me to finish it. And then it just turned out really well. Like it's possibly the cleanest install I've ever built. And then he took it to shows and it started winning stuff. And I've never won anything. I've never had any of my cars win anything. I've never built to a level where I wanted it to be. And we don't have lowriders. These aren't winning at lowrider shows. These are winning at modified car shows.
Like a regular car show with hot rods and whatnot.
Yeah. So it's surrounded by like classic Fords and Stance guys and classic Volkswagen guys on BBS wheels, and then you've got this little group of lowriders who've just gone to the show because we need an outlet and we want somewhere to be, and then this car's winning stuff. It's like that recognition is what I've been desperate for 20 years. And it kind of feels like now we're reaching that point, like for like magazines in America.
Look at you right now. We're talking.
Yeah. People in the
UK, dude, from the UK.
People in America. Like you are recognizing what we do and want to speak to us, and like it's just putting it on the map.
You guys are already, from what I've seen and from what I've seen from the pictures and the videos and the website, is you guys are being on the level of, man, dude, that's a clean car, and you guys are killing the game out there and building pretty kick-ass lowriders. And then on top of that, you're using a lot of American products. Other than Black Magic hydraulics, do you guys ever use Reds or?
Well, there's mostly because of Max Hydraulics. There's a bit of everything out here. Most people will use second-hand hydraulics because it's like you just use whatever you've got. If you can find it, you use that. Nobody's that selective on kits. I'm a distributor for Hoppos now, so I buy Hoppos hydraulics and import it. I try and buy around 3 or 4 kits a year with the intention of building 3 or 4 cars a year. And then having a stock of like replacement cylinders, motors, solenoids, all that kind of stuff. We've got all that stuff on the shelf. So like this, working on a Cadillac, I'm working on a 78 Cadillac at the moment that was built by a guy, and the pumps in that. So he's got a Pro Hopper to the nose, and then it's got, I'm not even sure what the 2 outer pumps are, but the end plates are Afterlife Customs, which I think was something to do with a guy who used to work at Black Magic and left. I'll probably get shot for saying that, but the install was just like a mash of different dumps, different solenoids.
It was just a mix,
it's just you use what you if hydraulics turn up on Facebook Marketplace, people fall over themselves to buy it. It's like, look, there's a motor, there's a pump. It's like you just don't find stuff like that in the UK. So
fucking here, it's like every other scrolling through Marketplace is like, oh shit, there's a set of 13x7s. Oh fuck, that guy's selling a set of pumps for like, that's a retard, that's cheap. And then you're like, oh shit, but half of it's got to get rebuilt, and you're like, I'll spend $500 on a set of pumps and some that I got to rebuild, So here you'll find it, but more than likely you're either rebuilding it or you're taking on somebody else's work if you're buying a lowrider from someone, Here we have a lot of reputable shops, that build lowriders. Frank out in Phoenix, Frank's Hydraulics. That dude's on like another level. That dude he does his own hopper events every time.
I've seen Frank's Hydraulics. I've seen back in the days of Trutra and Cali Swangin when we used to be able to get the DVDs over here, and we'd all get together. We'd all get together at somebody's house and be like, the new Cali Swangin's out. We'd all sit around and watch it, and it would just be a load of dudes in a hot pit all shouting at each other. Crazy. If you take like wire wheels in the UK, there is currently at this moment there isn't a single set of 13x7s for sale, new or used, in the UK.
Oh shit!
So you can't. That's how finite the resources are in the UK.
Curtin Slonky, Pete has built my Lincoln. Turtle is now doing some further upgrades and reinforcements with help and Pat from Limit. Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
cool.
so that's Sonny. His car's outside my house at the moment.
Okay.
I built it was a French car that was imported to the UK by a guy called Chris, who's the president of the Unity Lowrider Car Club. He put some hydraulics on it, drove it around for a bit, and then sold it to another Unity member called Eddie in Derby. He sat on the car for a while, and nothing happened with it. And Eddie sold it to me, and then I sat on it for a while with the intention of building it and selling it. And whilst it was there, that guy Sonny, he said he had a Merc, he had a Mercedes 300C, the Mercedes coupe, the 90s Mercedes coupe on hydraulics, and he wanted to upgrade to something American. So I said, look, he's got a big family. This would be the perfect family car. It's clean. It's got a clean interior. Do you want me to commission build it for you? So I built that last year, and it came out really nice. I took it to I've got a friend who runs his own detailing shop called my brain's gone. Mile Deep. Took it to him. He cleaned it all up. We got it all working nice. Sonny drove it around for a bit, and then it's come back. He wants to do the Cadillac upper A-arm conversion, but you have to do a 91 town car spindle swap. But that guy that I spoke about before, Pat Banks at Limit Fabrications, he's done all the reinforcing work because his work is. He could set up a shop in the USA and he would do well because of the quality of his work.
Nice.
He is up there. So yeah, that's that guy anyway who just commented.
Hell yeah. So with you having lay and play and having it go from media to building to having everything under the sun, are you guys trying to do is whenever do you guys go to regular car shows? Do you guys always trying to get more people to build lowriders?
Yeah.
Because you guys have so much opportunities to show them off.
Yeah. So it's a strange community because there's a lot of us like nerdy white guys that are in the community. There is like different ethnicities and stuff. There's not a lot of girls. There's a girl who's just got into low riding called Misha Dory, who's like relatively internet. She's like on the internet famous. She's got like 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. So she's sponsored by Monster Energy. She's bought into. Is Pat Banks? That's the man. That's the guy. That's my boy.
What up,
Limit Fabrication, shout out.
Fabrication? All right.
That's him, yeah. That's my guy. That's Pat. He was the one whose car got hired for the Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre gig.
Nice.
And there's Zach. Everybody's popping up. Zach.
Nice.
Yeah, I built his car. That guy's the king of the streets. So he doesn't really go to shows, but he drives his car like every day. Just drives it around Manchester like a city centre. Just always on the switches. Like he's got straight blocks. Always getting pulled over by the police and stuff. He doesn't care. King of the street. Got Dom. He's got a Cadillac that I built a few years ago. He had a really nice 63 Bel Air that he's just sold to Misha Dory. She's like the famous. She's gonna like the big star of UK lowriding. Who's gonna be? I think she's just joined Rollers Only as well. So she's the first UK Rollers Only member.
Damn, that's a bit. Yeah, that you don't hear a lot.
Yeah.
Rollers Only. Yeah, damn, dude, that's crazy. You guys are killing the game, and then you guys are importing all the products. Did it get harder to order products during the time when a lot of here in the U.S. when parts were getting hard to find, where people were like, "Hey, everything's on back order. Everything's on back order."
Yeah. We did. I did notice. Was it just after COVID where there was a shortage of stock of parts? And I mean, we don't import a lot. We just import enough just to keep us.
We're in here, big bro.
Biggie H. I'm not sure who that is.
What up, yo? More people that are joining. It's 2 in the afternoon here. don't mind me yawning. I've been up
So
early in
good.
the morning. Yeah, so I've been up at it. I was at an event, slanging some food, and then I was like hauling ass. I'm like, all right, I just gotta get home. I'll go worry about everything else later. And whatnot.
No, thanks for having me on, man. Thanks
No,
for
dude,
having me on.
I'm happy to have you on. I'm happy to bring you on and talk about how lowridering is in the UK, and more people don't realize that custom car culture is not only a USA thing. It's worldwide. It's international.
Yeah.
You got people building stuff that don't have a lot of supplies. You got guys in India that are putting cars together in pieces, and they're building cars back together. Hey, Luke, handsome fella. It is 9 o'clock. It is 9 o'clock over there. So
so everybody's drinking. Everybody's drinking.
Yeah. So here, if you catch the episodes after 9, it gets a little crazy. So it's already 9 over there, so that's fine. A handsome fella. All we need is some 3 cruises in this year, North Manchester. Okay.
Bring your club flags.
How many? Do you guys all meet up when you guys go cruise, or it just depends? What up, Jamal?
Yeah, he's got. Jamel's got a Jag, so he's got a Jaguar lowrider. It is sick as well.
Wait a minute, is that one that I've seen on Facebook before? Like
it's got patterns and stuff. Yeah. That's
Yeah, and it hops, but like it's kind of like bunny hops. Like it doesn't.
Yeah,
hop. I've never seen it like super hop, but like it hops.
Yeah, it moves well. He's getting better on the Switch too.
Yeah, like that thing's great. I like that. That thing's badass. I've seen that.
It is cool.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying. Like, see, I didn't like when we started the show and the podcast and we started interviewing different people. My goal was to try to interview people like you from different parts of the world, because I'm always curious on how custom car culture is over there. How are the effects? How are the laws? Do they treat you guys cool? Like, like you said,
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I mean, I've always said that we try to follow the culture as best that we can under the circumstances that we find ourselves in the UK. I mean, it's a running joke how bad British weather is. So if you're going to run wire wheels in the UK, they're going to rust. Do you know what I mean? If you don't run thin oil in your pumps and you hit switches in the winter, it's going to be like you're running on flat batteries all the time because of the low viscosity of the oil. And if you leave your batteries flat outside overnight in winter, they'll freeze up and they'll die. We're being bombarded by the elements in the UK, so it is relatively restrictive, and you'll tend to find that over winter, most guys just put the cars away and then leave them for 3 or 4 months. But this winter, like some of the kids that have got into lowriding, they're just out now. There's guys out there now driving lowriders in the middle of UK winter, and it's like there's like in the last couple of years there has been a polar shift towards, like, if you've got a lowrider, use it. All of these guys whose cars are hidden away in garages and stuff, all of these guys that are out there now are trying to convince these old boys who've got cars hidden to get them out. Like, let's
pretty much get out and cruise your car. Like, get out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah,
I say that so much. I tell people so much, but at the same time, my shit box sits in the back. So your polar shift. ... Street riders.
Yeah, that's the king of the streets, right there.
It all depends, because like with what you guys have to deal with the elements and having wire wheels rust and stuff like that, pretty much like easy solve for half of that. Like, other than a lot of heat, and you better hope that your garage is pretty, like warm, to keep everything warm, or a heating pad on top of the pumps, and
a lot of cars. My cars sit outside. I mean, it's UK garages, UK houses. We don't have a lot of space.
Can you build? How far is your shop from your home?
So my shop is next to my house. It's right next door.
What up, bud?
You look out my kitchen window. When you're washing up pots and pans, there's a 78 lac out the window for me to work on, which I like. I like seeing. It's like having. Every day I look out the window and there's something cool in the shop. There's like a couple of weeks ago there was a Buick Regal in there. A couple of months ago, like a Nissan Bluebird, which is like a bigger Sentra that I built for a young girl in the UK. And then a few months before that, black Lincoln Town Car. My son's got I don't know if you've seen the 91 Civic EF sedan, the 91 Honda Civic with all the custom paint. That's been around on the internet, so I built that.
Yeah, the square, the little square one, the 91.
Yeah. That's the one. That's my son's car. That's sat outside at the moment.
That's tight.
So at the moment here, so I've got my long-term project, 1980 El Camino, that was finished, but I stripped it to rebuild it, and then it's like yours. It's just sat there in pieces. Yeah. I've got a customer's 1978 Cadillac Fleetwood in the garage that I'm working on at the moment. It's a full strip down rebuild of the hydraulics as well as a service and maintenance of everything else, engine and transmission. And then on the front, I've got my 91 Lincoln Town Car, which needs some minor work, new pump heads, stripped down. I'm putting an Adel dump on the front because I keep on blowing deltas. 98 Lincoln Town Car, which is having a front spindle swap, and then a 91 Honda Civic EF sedan, which is my son's car.
Yeah, are you guys reinforcing the frames, extending arms, and whatnot, chaining stuff?
Yeah, there is some reinforced frame cars here. There is some. It's a big job, as you probably know, but it's a body off full reinforced chassis. Yeah. And not a lot of people go through the process of fully reinforcing a frame until they realise that things break when you hit switches. And that's Pat Banks at Limits.
So pretty much like you're like, hey man, this is what it's going to cost you to build your car for an extra couple grand more. Do you want it reinforced?
Oh, it's the price of steel over here, like to reinforce the frame. Expensive. It makes it through the roof. Oh, wow. I would say that we're probably in the UK where lowriders were in the USA in the 90s. So people would build something, they would get like small hops, and then things would break, and then they'd start reinforcing. There's still people building like European and Japanese cars, so it's almost like the 90s culture at the moment, and I like it. I like it. So at car shows, you'll get my best friend Matt Loxton lives just down the road from me, literally 2 streets that way, in this village that we live in. He's got a 6.4 convertible, a 6.4 ragtop that he's built. So he'll pull up outside my house, and there'll be a 91 Civic, like a Euro style lowrider with a 6.4 ragtop, and then a 91 Town Car.
Carrie asked how difficult it is to get parts. They have to import everything, Carrie.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know if you guys get it over there. There's a company called Rock Auto, and
Rock Auto?
Yeah, and it's a website, and you search for the parts on this website called Rock Auto, and you can buy parts on there, and it takes like three days for the parts to come from America to the UK, and you can get.
Cool. Shout out to Rock Auto for fucking being able to send shit overseas faster than shit.
Ball joints. I bought for that 98 Town Car that's outside. I bought a full set of coil packs, a full set of spark plugs, and a rebuild kit for an injector. It took 3 days, all taxes, duties, and import, everything all paid for, £120. You can't get one injector. You can't get one. You can't get one.
Yes,
what's
Jason,
it called?
I know of Rock Auto, but I didn't think Rock Auto was that hardcore that they're way out there too.
Oh man,
I figured it'd be like everybody right now. everybody here, fucking Amazon. Amazon can't get you cocaine and hookers.
I don't know.
It can get you everything. Everyone goes, oh, it get everything. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm
like,
nah,
Rock Auto for like general parts for ball joints, like service kits, everything that you need is pretty much on Rock Auto. And then if you want cylinders, motors, replacement dumps, seals, I've got all of that. I import it from Blackmagic and I keep it on. From Hoppos and keep it on the shop on the shelf. But you can also buy stuff from eBay. Like you can buy parts from companies. I forget. I think Lizard Hydraulics. I forget the names of the companies. There's American companies that sell on eBay, and you can import it direct. Yes, Amazon can.
No, it can't, Jason. No, it can't. Then you know what? How about you send me that? How about you send it to send me some stuff? Amazon my ass can get. Yeah. Peter, it's awesome that, like Carrie said, it takes 3 days ain't bad to get parts.
It's crazy.
And for you to have your parts, for them to be able to have replacement parts for their pumps, their motors, and whatnot, for their lowriders out there, and your shop lay and play, not only media but building stuff. What's the address?
I think you guys need to make this private. If he's sending you cocaine and hookers, I don't think we should be doing this in a public forum.
Right, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm telling you. Amazon's gonna send me powdered sugar and a blow up doll, and that's it. You go, there you go. Or powdered donuts, and that's it. Jeez. Only on the podcast. Only on Lay Frame Podcast. And if people are wondering why it's just me tonight, guys, or me today. I'm so used to doing it at night. It's just for me today. The Bearded Beauty is working on call, so he is not here at the moment, the co-host. So it's just me today on the special edition of the Lay Frame Podcast because we got Peter Blackhurst joining us from the UK, who has graced us with his presence and talking about lowriders, and you got to make sure that you don't get your car towed when you're hitting.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of lowriders out there get seen a lot more because it's cool that they get hired for weddings and stuff like that. Like that's like you don't see it in that way, most of the time. All right. So, but it's pretty. I like it that you be able to pave the way and have that. You're cornering the market right now in the UK to being that guy that's. Hey, anybody's got lowrider, you go to Lay and Play. You go hit them up.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to gatekeep lowrider. I don't want people to think that they have to come through me.
No, I don't mean it in that sense of gatekeeping. What I mean is like for right now in your little neck of the woods, everybody knows to go to you. Peace on the roll, love it. See, look at that. Hell yeah. Nice.
What he's saying there's like a thing. This is going to sound really weird now, and all of the UK guys watching will probably be laughing at this point. But we've got this thing in the UK about bread, where if you want to be part of the UK lowrider community, more or less, you have to post a picture of yourself with like a loaf of bread on your head, or like a baguette, or I don't know, some sort of bread-based product. So if there's bread related stuff down here popping up,
the roll,
they'll probably be low. They'll make me look an idiot by not saying it, but it's just a thing. It's weird. It's like there's so many pictures of UK lowrider members with like a
pieces of
bread. It's like an initiation.
It's like an initiation almost.
Exactly. It just came out of nowhere, and it's just become the weird tradition.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because we're English and we put everything in bread. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
But it's
what I'm trying to figure out is like when you guys have the decent weather and you guys can all get together. With the public, when it comes to the events, is it a big turnout when a lot of families go out there? Like, are they very big turnouts, or is it just like the lowrider community and, their friends and family?
The types when did the brother shoe?
Yeah, I guess that's their thing, Jason. That's how they do it out there. Australia does the shoey. Bread. That's loaf. Fucking Luke said loaf.
There you go. We're gonna start popping up, I promise.
Yeah, so nervous it said fucking loaf and shit. So, somebody earlier sent it looked like a little sandwich.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So the events, there's some really good quality UK events out there that we get invited along to. So if you're part of the UK lowrider community, we get invited. It's almost like a free show for car events, because you go to a car event and everything's static, whereas lowriders can bounce around. So some events invite us along just to take part, and then other events hire lay and play to do like timed interval events. So we'll get like an arena and we'll put the cars in it. We'll put music on, and then it's almost like a party for everybody.
Your guys' version of the Super Show.
Yeah, I mean, we're not. I would love to think that one day we could have a Super Show in the UK. I'm trying to arrange something at the moment that will hopefully take place.
But for right now, man, you guys are it, and that's badass.
Yeah, I mean,
you can do that.
Yeah, we get invited everywhere. Everybody wants lowriders at their event because it's like a sideshow for an event. I mean, you've seen it. You pull up at a show and you start hitting switches, or if you've got a bed dancer, a hopper, you can sit park up on three wheels. It's almost like a sideshow for an event organizer, because otherwise it's just a car park full of cars. It's just a field full of cars.
Yep. Yeah.
If you've got a lowrider there driving around on three wheels, especially in the you got to remember, in the UK, like everybody's used to like Austins and old Fords and guys with flat caps and smoking pipes.
And stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of classics and a lot of luxury older vehicles.
Yeah, so you turn up in a lowrider and it blows people's minds, because you just don't see it here. It's just like I say, we're a finite resource. There's the biggest turnout of lowriders in the UK at any event is only like 15 or 20 cars at most. So there's so few of us. It makes us, I don't know. There's like a level of exclusivity. We're not cliquey. We don't gatekeep lowriding. We'd love more people to get involved in it and make it a bigger community. But I think people think it's quite expensive to build a lowrider in the UK, but it's not really. Not when you compare it to what people spend on tuning cars. Do you know what?
It's a pretty penny to build any custom vehicle.
Yeah.
In my sense, because a mini truck will start off as a $1,500 car or a $2,000 truck, or or cheaper than that. Sometimes $500 truck. Before you know it, at the end you're sitting on $7,000, $8,000, $10,000.
Yeah, easy.
And some of them climb higher, like in the 50s or 40s, and it's just like, okay, that started off as a really bad truck. Takes a lot of bread. Yeah, it takes a lot of bread.
It does.
It does.
But you can still. I build. My average sort of fee to build a car, to supply a kit and build a car, is somewhere between £5,000 and £6,000. So about I don't know, about $8,000. That's if you bring me a car, I'll build it. Yeah.
I'm gonna say right now that a lot of people are gonna say, and probably our producer later on will probably, be like, "Dang, dude, that's cheap."
Well, prices are only going up.
Well, a hydraulic kit from Papo's and some other places run you like $3,400 to $4,000 to $5,000.
Yeah, once you start adding batteries and steel and stuff.
certain kits. You got your regular, lay and play kits that you just, a setup that anyone can do, that it can DIY. If somebody attempts to put a setup in, it comes with the stuff, and then you got ones that come with more things and more things. But here it's like, to build a lowrider, you're looking more than $8,000. Because
but
they'll give you one that's not reinforced, but normally everybody reinforces their frames. But it's expensive, but it all depends on the person and how far you want to dig deep into your pockets to build either, hey, I just want something to look like a stock old car and make people go, wow, that shouldn't do that. Or that one guy that's going to come to you and go, hey, man, I want this thing to clear half a stick. Like here in the States, the half a stick would be like the big giant measuring. So like at least half a stick or almost to the top.
We're not up there. There's a few cars in the UK that are built with the potential to do big numbers, but I think the guys that have built the cars to that level don't want to hop them because they've probably spent £50,000, £60,000 building this car that then they're going to take to an event and try and hit big numbers and start breaking things. So it's we haven't got to that point where somebody can just take a cheap car. If you think that even a Lincoln Town Car a cheap Lincoln Town Car is gonna set you back, you'd be lucky to find one in good condition for I'll say it in dollars, for about $7,000 or $8,000 for a cheap Lincoln Town Car.
Yeah.
And then a body off frame, full reinforcement with all the parts. It's going to cost you at least £10,000 to get that to do the reinforcement, and then like a 3-pump install with piston pumps and Adel dumps. You're talking another 5,000, and then batteries are £100 each. So, to build a hopper in the UK, you've got to have deep pockets, big time. If the people who can afford to build hoppers don't want to hop them, because they're normally guys who just want the best possible lowrider, but understandably,
just so they can show off and cruise.
But they want them built to a level where they can take them to shows and they be the best car there. But they don't then want to hit switches and break them, and I completely understand it. My Lincoln went to Limit Fabrications and needed a partial reinforcement, and I do hop it, and it does mid-20s, which in the UK is a decent number at the moment. But it still breaks. It still needs constant regular maintenance, and people don't want that. People want to be able to my Lincoln drives like a piece of shit because of the modifications that have been done to it. Whereas Luke's Lincoln, his drive's beautiful, although he is now going down the route of extended reinforced upper arms, and he's bought a piston pump for it. And I keep telling him he's going to ruin it, but he's going to add all that to it anyway.
He's like, nah, we're just going to go until that thing falls off.
Yeah, but the issue is people go to shows, and then there'll be a few people rolling on 3 wheels and a few people with standing 3 wheels, and then somebody else hop in. And if you haven't got that, you want it. And then, but you don't realize that guy who's hopping, the turmoil that he's been through to get his car to that level, get it to that show, and then hopping, knowing that it's going to break and he's going to have to fix it again, and he's going to have to buy.
Dude, you'll have dudes that'll take a car that's completely gutted and they'll hop it to where they're smashing each other's cars.
Yeah, I've seen videos, man. Mind blowing.
I think that's happened at a Frank Hydraulics. I think at one of Frank's hops one time. It's crazy because that's when you go, okay, you got retarded money, that you can sit there and just play. Okay, we're gonna smash each other's cars. Who can hop on top of someone's hood.
It's crazy. Like for that would just never happen here because those cars would be £25,000 cars, $30,000 cars, and people just smashing them up, just mind blowing. Like at the Super Show, at the Vegas Super Show last year, I had the guy with the Caprice who tips it over.
Yeah. Yep.
Crazy, but it went viral. Like it was everywhere. I had friends of mine from years ago that I used to work with sending me that. I got no interest in lowriding, sending me those clips. Is that Amazon?
Yeah, it's Amazon.
Cocaine and hookers.
Motherfucker, did he send that shit? That was fast. Damn it, man. You already sent me cocaine. I'm waiting for the hooker. Shit. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. Well, it's 9 o'clock over there. Goddamn. It's fucking not fair. It's 9 over there. We're already getting raunchy. Raunchy in the daytime over here. Shit. That was fast. Yeah, that was fucking Amazon. Fuck. Damn, dude. I like that you're doing that, and I like that, you guys are a tight-knit community and you guys are out there trying to do your best, help everybody else out, bring more people into the community, and you guys are kind of like not being it so small, and then you have to be like kind of policing it to make sure, okay, man, don't break your shit or don't do nothing stupid while you're driving, because obviously everybody, there probably is somebody who got their car taken away once or impounded.
Well, yeah, it can happen, and obviously the biggest risk is if somebody got hurt on a UK road because of a hydraulic suspension fault. Like that could be the one incident that sees it all. They would just ban them. That once they found out that people were putting this suspension on the cars and it had the potential to go wrong and somebody die in an accident, that could be the end of it for everybody. And that's why maintenance, like carry a fire extinguisher, make sure you got a disconnect, like maintain your car. Like they do break. Like if you hit switches, things come loose. Like the cars aren't built to bounce around and drive around on freewheels. So as a result,
after a while, you got to tighten some shit up.
Yeah, stuff comes loose. I've been cruising on the motorway and had a blowout because of the weight of the hydraulics, and been driving too fast and had the wrong tire pressure, and like the effect that the modifications can have on your vehicle could cause a huge accident, which then has a ripple effect for the whole lowrider community. And we're all responsible for that. And the guys watching this, although there's obviously always a level of stupidity. Like when we go street cruising, I'll be the first one hitting switches, but it's only ever like slow speed, somewhere where it could like the damage can be managed.
Hopping.
Yeah,
you're not sitting there gas hopping it or trying to.
Well, yeah, I will be gas hopping, but I'm trying to do it somewhere where I know I'm not gonna like break a ball joint and go flying off into a crowd and run over a load of fucking school children. There's obviously risks involved, and we've got to all play the part and look after each other and make sure if anything goes wrong, we're on deck, we're on scene to try and prevent like things escalating. But they're not really these modifications. Although you put hydraulics on a car, it will still drive like a car. Like a lot of them have got these modifications, but especially with like accumulators and stuff and the development of better suspension technologies, some of them drive like sweet. But in other circumstances, like you shouldn't be driving around on three wheels.
We do not recommend driving your vehicle.
Yeah. Don't do it, guys.
Don't do it. It's not right. But if you are,
on a closed road, closed roads only.
Closed road or in the drive-through of a. You guys got Jack in the Box out there?
No, man. Our fast food in the UK is awful. Like we get McDonald's, we get KFC, and we get Burger King, and then everything else is Nah, man, no Jack in the Box. I think we got some Popeyes, chicken, but all the like the big USA brands. Like we don't get Wendy's. I think there might be a Wendy's. We've started getting Taco Bell, but it's expensive and it's really poor quality. But on the whole, like
You said good quality. Taco Bell, good quality.
nice. It's not good quality. It's
Oh, okay.
terrible. Nah, it's
oh
not
yeah,
good.
yeah. And you guys got places that you guys so like mini truckers. After a show, everybody gets hammered, or somebody goes somewhere, and we wind up at a Denny's at 2 in the morning. You know, you guys got probably a Denny's out there too, right? Same
No,
thing.
we don't get Denny's. We don't get Denny's. No, we got
Okay,
Five
what do you
Guys.
guys got?
Well, you tend to find we don't do a lot. We don't do enough. And Zach will tell you this. We don't do enough street cruising. It's funny because the UK community is so small.
Petrons, if you're doing stupid stuff on the road, be careful. But more importantly, film it. This motherfucker. No way. You're not supposed to film it, dude. Fuck.
That's evidence. That's evidence.
Yeah, we don't want you to film it, but if you do, you know, like
I'll be the first. I'll be the first advocate. I'm always saying, like, if you're out cruising, make sure you film everything because it's obviously content for the internet, which
right.
could potentially go viral and be that advert for the UK lowrider community.
All you need is somebody to be like, yeah.
But we don't street cruise enough, and then when we do, it's crazy because the UK in the scale of, if you like drew a scale between distances traveled between, like, your state is probably to get everybody together, somebody's got to drive 2 or 3 hours, whereas in the UK, like the whole of the UK is only ever like 3 or 4 hours away at most. So so
like here, if a friend of mine lives on the east side of town, far east side of town, and that's Derek lives in Santan, and that's like an hour, hour and a half. I'll say like an hour and a half from where I'm at. Yeah. And I have other friends that live 25, 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
I got another friend that lives an hour, away. But more than likely, like, depending on what your club is and who you roll with, people will take or be like, so like here they have first Saturdays of the month, Wicked Creations throws like a kickback, and all the mini trucks and whoever wants to go there can show up, and they do that, and then they do whatever Wednesdays Sunset hosts, and you can go and hang out with everybody, and everybody will go meet at a restaurant and eat, and all their trucks are parked outside, and it's like making your own show. Like, you go cruise, pull up to the whatever fast food joint, and meet up, and then everybody shows off their cars and then heads home or goes to the bar.
Yeah, that's what we lack in the UK. We've definitely got we've got at least one, maybe two events a month during the summer that we all try to attend. But the whole cruising, kickbacks. We got our first one in April, which is local to here at Maldeep, where it's hosted by Maldeep. I put Lay and Play's name to it, and we all try and get together, and then we'll go for a bit of a drive around the local area. But we don't do enough of that. We're all in the same place at night. And Zach, the king of the streets, Zach, who's commented before, he's trying to get people to go to Manchester, do some nighttime cruises, and then stay over, eat, drink. We go out, we have a good time, and then maybe cruise again the following day. Some of the we don't do, like, there's a lot of lowriders in there, and I'm not trying to knock the guys in the south, but there's a big lowrider contingent in the London area, and London for cruising, although you got to pay a lot of fees and stuff to drive in London now, there's like congestion zone charge. I think it's about $40 just to drive in the city now. It's like one-off payment for one day. They've got like congestion zone charges and ultra low emission zone charges.
They don't like West says they don't like people to congregate. UK, right?
It's a protest. We can cruise. I don't know what it is, but people don't like to don't like to travel far. It kind of doesn't make sense to get your lowrider out, like your 50, 60-year-old lowrider, and drive it 4 hours across the country for 2 hours of hanging out, knowing that you got to drive 4 hours back again. So it's difficult to convince everybody to get together for these things. But
when it comes to the event, everybody shows up.
Yeah, so for shows, so if you think that there's events all the way up north and down south and all the way to the east and where there's shows all over the country. So there's an opportunity for people to get together for things, and it's up to the individuals whether they want to travel or not. But there is no regular, like, we don't do a monthly cruise, we don't do a monthly get together, but you'll find that there'll be a pocket of guys who are based on the south coast who will get together frequently, but there'll only be like two or three of them, and there'll be a few guys over on the east coast and the west coast will get together. There's some guys in South Wales, shout out to the South Wales guys, they'll get together and they'll hang out in the cars and they'll probably go for something to eat. But it's like small little networks of guys who know each other relatively locally, but trying to convince. What we need to get better at is, if there's something happening in the south, that the guys from the north should go down and take part in it, and if there's something happening in the north, that the guys in the south should go up and take part in it, to try and integrate the community a bit better, because there is so few of us. It would make sense to try and get. You can imagine if so we did a cruise in Manchester, and I think it was a good turnout. I think there was like 10 cars. But can you imagine if there was 40 lowriders driving around the city centre? It would be insane.
Oh yeah. Here, they'll have a kickback. The producer and the Live Ride podcast, they do one at Frenchie's, and it's it's a parking lot, and there's a wing place, and they'll have vendors out there, and all the lowriders go out there from. So they'll have a cruise night in Glendale, a little small town that's not that far from here. And they'll go do a cruise night, and a bunch of lowriders will be there, and then they go from there to Frenchie's to go to that place, and then they go there, and they just post up the rest of the night till say 11 or 12. Like we had a kickback there, and it gets packed, you know. And people go, everybody roll up to the parking lot, post up. When they did theirs, when I went, they had people were doing like a music video, you know, with the lowriders in the background, and then people were just, you know, different vendors and people walking around, and it was a big community of lowriders, but it was cool because they came from one side of town over to another side of town, and then that, you know, that was it. Like it's always big here, you know, but I think everybody here is just always trying to, like, there's always something going on. There's always a show, local shows, church shows. Everything under the sun, you know. So, and what's crazy is that, well, how many times do you come down to the U.S.?
How many times have we go over to the USA?
Yeah.
I did the Vegas Super Show twice about 15 years ago, and I haven't been back since. For no other reason. It's just cost and time availability. But the plan is there's currently a group of us trying to do the Vegas Super Show this year, so hopefully that comes off.
All right, hell yeah, that's fucking nice, man. Well, I know we have the show here in Arizona, and
you do. There's an Arizona Super Show, isn't there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully, one of these days you can make it out here, and we can.
I'd love to,
hang out.
I'd love to.
And dude, another question for me is, like, with the hydraulics and when it comes to selling a vehicle. Is it harder to sell a vehicle custom car wise, or does it stay within the circle?
It's a really weird market in the UK. You can get, like, cars will crop up out of nowhere and be really cheap, and then at the next minute somebody won't be selling a car and they'll get offered outrageous amounts of money for it. There's no real jump off point. Nobody really knows what the value of a lowrider is. But you tend to try and sell them within the community, because you want to sell lowriders to people who understand them, because people buy lowriders and don't realize the level of maintenance that they need.
Burn out a motor by holding the switch.
Yeah. It's not the level of maintenance, but there is certain aspects of. It's not like buying a remote control car and just fucking going nuts on the switches. Like it's so easy to break a lowrider if you make even me. I've been doing it for 20 years, and you get your timer wrong on the switch, like you'll just blow a solenoid to pieces, and your boot will be on fire. Your trunk will be on fire. So it's that if you sell a lowrider to somebody, you kind of think this guy's new. Like he's seeing it bouncing around in videos on Instagram, and he wants that. He wants to enter the community and have that lifestyle. And then the first time something goes wrong, it's just chaos because this guy's like, "You've sold me a piece of shit. Like you didn't warn me about this." And it's like, well, how do you warn people? How do you warn somebody? And the thing is, like a 40, 50, 60-year-old classic American car in the UK is probably going to be terrible anyway because of the maintenance, like the rust issues, like the difficulty with getting parts and maintenance in the UK. Like if you buy a 40-year-old American car in the UK, there's a very good chance that it's not very good anyway. And then you put hydraulics on it and you hit a switch, and then that light bulb socket that was hanging on for dear life or somebody taped in is now out, and you've got a headlight out. If you don't know basic mechanics and you've got a headlight out, the next thing you know, you're getting pulled over by the police. Yep. You don't know how to fix a headlight.
Yep. It's like a rich kid that's happened here. There's been a few people that I've known that sold a vehicle with hydraulics to some kid, some 16-year-old kid who's like, "Oh, I want that. I got the money," and then all of a sudden breaks it within the first few minutes, or doesn't know how to work the switches, and you're just like, "Hey, this is what this does. This is what this does."
Yeah, well, that's and again, like it's important in our community. Like it doesn't matter how much money you've got or how little money you've got. If you want to get into lowriding, like we've got like an open door policy with no way gatekeeping, other than having to post a picture of you with bread on your head. No, everybody's cool. Like if you come along and you've got a £50,000 budget, like we will help put you in the position of getting that £50,000 car. Like we've tried to wheedle out the bad guys, the guys who are going to rip you off, take money from you. Like if those guys come along,
policing. You guys are doing your own policing.
Yeah, they get exited from the community. We don't want those people in the community because it doesn't. I don't care if you come along and you've got £500,000 and you want to build a lowrider, like you can build one for 10 grand. You haven't got to spend £500,000. Well, you're not going to get charged more because you've got more money. I want these cars in the community. I want more lowriders. And if you've got no budget, if you can't afford it, like buy something cheap, buy a Japanese car, buy a Honda Civic, buy a set of cheap rusty wire wheels, cut the coils.
How it starts, yeah.
Yeah, just come along anyway.
Under construction.
Yeah. Just come along, hang out with everybody. Like you can feel part of the community. But I know people who are in lowrider who've never owned a lowrider in the UK, or they've never finished one, and they still come along to events, and they still can be part of it and be part of our little community. And if somebody wants to develop, if they bought a car and they're having mechanical issues, like you can speak to anybody in the community, and somebody will help you out. There's always somebody local who will pop out and try and help you fix things. And nice. It's without the few people who come in and decide that they want to be the next guy who's going to rip somebody off. Like it's a great little community, and I want more people in this community to like somebody could come along and be the next big thing. They could buy an old British car like Jamel with the Jag, and it could blow up online. I think our biggest video on Facebook last year was Jamel's Jag. I think it got like 250,000 views or something like that, which is huge for the UK lowrider community.
Yeah.
So why would you be like, that's a Jag, like that's not a lowrider? Like, why would you have that? Believe me, like some of the shit.
It's European because years ago I remember when Lowrider did Lowrider Euro.
Yeah. Well, that's
Lowrider Euro, and it was all Hondas, anything European, anything that was.
Yeah, it's funny that Hondas are considered a Euro lowrider when they're obviously Japanese. It's not part of Euro.
Yeah.
But I read up that it's the style of the car. They're like a European market car. So the plastic bumpers, the small, fuel efficient, and all that kind of stuff. I see these guys dropped out. Does that mean that is a live finished?
No, we're not. We're still live. We're almost about to be. What time you got over there on your end?
1 hour 20, so it's 20 past 10.
Okay. We always go till like the 15 mark. Let me turn you sideways. We're almost. Yeah, it's almost at the end of the hour. So I want to thank Peter Blackhurst all the way from the fucking UK.
The UK, buddy.
Now they came, they saw, he conquered. We talked lowriders, we talked custom cars in the UK. We talked a lot of good stuff, and hopefully we'll see him out here at a show.
Yeah, man, I'd love to come over
here in the future. And I want to thank you for coming on. Where can they find you if you want to throw your plug out there? Where can they find you? And where
so on Instagram,
go to get stuff?
Instagram tends to be the place that we do most of our social media posting, and you're more likely to be able to get hold of us. So our Instagram handle is, I think it's Lay and Play UK with a little underscore. Basically, if you search Lay and Play on Instagram, will come up.
It should come up.
Yeah, or if you YouTube, the same, it's Lay and Play TV. And then we've got a website as well, layandplay.co.uk. There's a few some merchandise and stuff on there. If you want to buy any Lay and Play merchandise, contact us direct, because the website won't ship to the USA because of the extortionate prices on exporting goods. And then on Facebook, we're called UK Lowriding, which is I set up UK Lowriding before I set up Lay and Play, so we kept the name, because I didn't want to look like I was selling out UK Lowriding under Lay and Play, you know what I mean. So it's more like a community type page. I do use it to advertise Lay and Play stuff, but it is a UK Lowriding. But at the moment, everything that we post on our social media is, we call it the UK Lowrider database. So it's every single known UK Lowrider on the road is being posted one a day.
Hell yeah, because you don't see that. All right, guys. On behalf of me, Holy Moses, on behalf of Mr. Peter Blackhurst, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's been awesome, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one, man. So take it easy.
Okay, dude.
All right. Hell yeah.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
Take it easy, man. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Bye-bye.
Take it easy. Let's figure this out. Yeah. It's still live. Well, because normally we... All right, hold on. Let's figure this out. You're in the show. Yes, we know. We're still live. We're going in now. The producer is... I don't know if Mike can hear me, because I'm going to say we're...
Still live.
Yeah, all right. It's 3:22. I got 36 on the battery. We can go till 3:30, or hopefully if Mike gets on, the producer gets on, we can figure this out. But no, I will. All right. See if this works. All right, man. You take it easy. On behalf of everybody have a good night.
All right.